All right. Oh, we've already got questions ready to go.
Ready to rock?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Well, I guess I'll do like a really quick intro.
Yeah,
I guess listen. So, for those who are just kind of joining that may not know what's going on, my name is Josh Grelle. I'm a voice actor for Funimation Entertainment, ADV Films, Sentai Filmworks, Okatron 5000, Cup of Tea Productions, a whole lot of really fun places that I've had the really awesome fortune of working on for 14 years now. I'm a geek fanboy that ended up living the dream, and just kind of still can't believe that I'm sitting here doing this. Really,
Get paid to be like.
yeah, and like the fact that I grew up like I think my first anime that I think I ever really saw that I knew that it was something from another country other than like Pokemon or something, because like that was as a kid that was the first thing that was like, oh, Pokemon, this is really cool. But the first thing that I like sought out and found on my own was Sailor Moon, and that solidified my love for it. And then like through Sailor Moon, I found Sailor Moon's on Toonami. I'll watch Toonami. And I saw Sailor Moon, then I saw Dragon Ball and Ronin Warriors and freaking Tenchi and all. And now I'm working with half the people that I freaking grew up listening to, and it's insane.
Weird when your idols become your peers.
Yeah, it really is. And so that's pretty much me. Like, end of the day, I sit down and I try to watch the anime that I know that I want to watch when I'm not, working on it. And I play, like, if I'm not watching anime, I'm playing video games. So that's the life. And
I feel like
very fortunate.
90% of the convention goers are
right
in that life right now.
Yeah. So that's. And for it says that the title is Attack on Titan, Yuri on Ice Q&A, and of course obviously all those questions are welcome. But if you have any questions about any other properties I've worked on or just about the industry in general, I've also worked for 6-7 years or more now as a script writer for writing for the dubs. I've directed a little bit, so if you have any questions about that process as well, I'm more than happy to answer any of those questions. Other than Attack on Titan, I play Armin and the narrator. Yuri on Ice, I play Yuri Kotsky. Some roles you might know me as. There we go. You know what most of the questions are going to be. Other than those, some roles you might know me if you watch RWBY. I'm the voice of Tyrian Kalos. Soul Leader fans, I play Oxford. Akihisa Yoshi and Baka and Test, Sadao Mao and the Devil. Black pepper fries! And, let's see. Namaste and Princess Jellyfish, darling. It's just all sorts of really fun characters. All right, questions. We have plenty.
Have a good day. First up.
Hi, sweetie.
My first question is actually, could I get a recording of Tyrian?
Yeah, sure.
Two
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
One of them is obviously the laugh because I need that in my life.
Okay.
And two is a little weird. I'm not sure if there's children or something sensory lewd.
Okay. I think these are generally supposed to be all ages panels,
Yeah,
so I'll abstain from that one for right now. But I can totally give you the laugh. Yeah.
And ready. Hold on. And go.
Eye for an eye.
One more question. Exactly what? How did you get the inspiration to do Tyrion's voice?
They when we went in for the audition for it, I didn't it was kind of out of left field because we got the invite from Rooster Teeth for a bunch of us up in Dallas. Hey, we got this new season coming out. We've got a lot of characters, so come audition for us. And so we didn't even actually get to go to Austin to Rooster Teeth Studios. We were directed. We auditioned for them over Skype in a studio up in Dallas, and I just we didn't have a whole lot of time to go over what they were looking for the characters, and I just remember seeing a picture of what Tyrian was supposed to look like and just kind of feeling like this guy is a psychopath. And so I was just this is my opportunity to kind of channel one of my personal heroes and do the kind of my Mark Hamill's Joker. impersonation, and so like I pretty much just like I'm gonna do my Joker for this guy because he just has that feel, and like for the audition, that's essentially what I did, and they ended up loving it. But then as we actually were recording the sessions, I started to I found his crazy, and I found like where like okay, no, this is not like he's not a watch the world kind of burn, he's not a watch the world burn kind of guy. He is a devout follower. And that is, if anything, I don't know if he necessarily is in love with his goddess, but he's definitely all about just her mission and what she wants, and I believe like he looks up to her as like a deity. Yeah. So I just kind of more went that route of just this crazed, devout kind of religious fanatic, and he just kind of took on a life of his own after that. Yeah, he's so good. I love it. I hope at some point they maybe give him a part in the RWBY Chibi series, because I feel like there would be, oh my god, he would have so much fun in that.
I just want to say, he deserves better.
I know, yeah, he doesn't deserve his tail shut off.
No, he deserves so much better.
Yeah, so, thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
Daphne.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I have two questions.
Okay.
One's a question, one's a request from my little sister.
Okay.
Okay, first question. What was your reaction when you saw episode 7 and episode 10 of Yuri on Ice?
Okay, by 7, I'm assuming you mean the it's just like, finally! And, okay, remind me, like, in 10 specifically, you're talking about the exchanging of... Yes, oh my god, it's just like, okay, if anybody says it's not canon at this point, they're deluding themselves. And like, here's the deal. Like, I know a lot of people still try to be like, oh, they didn't actually show the kiss. It's not canon. Like, there's no. It's like,
totally kiss.
That's like, and like, and even if they, people do the whole thing where they're like, they like CSI'd the crap out of that scene where just they like put the arms away and like drew like where their heads would have had to been in relation to each other for that close. Just like, it's obvious they're kissing. It's like, you don't even need that because of two things. An interview with the creator of the show, that one of the questions was, when does Yuri on Ice take place? And her answer was, it takes place in a time where nobody cares who you love, was her answer. I put this down as Exhibit A, Your Honor. Second one being that not too long ago, Japan, the Japanese government passed a law, like they've always had the whole like Indecency Act and stuff like that going on, where you can't show a lot of like anything that they deem to be unclean. Well, there's still a lot of issues over there with homophobia, and they actually passed a law not long before Yuri on Ice hit the airways that you cannot depict in TV a male-on-male relationship of any kind. You cannot show two men kissing, like it is illegal. So their workaround was to, you didn't see it happen, but it totally happened. Like, that's how they got around that. At least in my opinion, that's what they did. And it was such a beautiful way for them to A, get around it, and B, just kind of show that, because A, my heart jumped out of my freaking chest the moment it happened. Just like, are you kidding me? And just Yuri's reaction and the fact that Victor is just like, I didn't know how else to surprise you after you surprised me like that. Just like, oh, dude, he gave him tongue. And your request?
For my little sister, please do the pork cutlet bowl line.
Which one? The I'm a poor cuddly bowl, or did I actually say that? Like when he's freaking out over it. Which one?
When you're freaking out.
When he's freaking out? Okay. You know when you're going. Pork cutlet bowls? Did I actually say that? I want to crawl over a rock and die! What's up, Armin?
Everything's good.
Join the Scouts. We have cookies.
We all have cookies. You're right.
Oh god, I'm so nervous.
No, it's fine. What's your question?
I'm really so much character. I have two.
Okay.
I'm just forgetting everything.
I totally get it.
Stage. I'm sweaty. I don't know.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, say that when a crowd of people are looking directly at you.
Hey, I get it. I do that for a living, and I still get nervous about it. I totally get it.
Okay. You got this. Okay. You got this. Stay terms. Okay, by any reason, I have two. So yeah, two questions.
Okay.
Okay. What are the newest games you have played?
I haven't played a whole lot of really new ones. I guess the newest one would be Overwatch. I love that. I like pretty much all Blizzard titles is all I play these days, because that's kind of the only stuff I have time for, or I want to devote time to. I play a ton of Legion, Warcraft Legion right now. I love it, and but Overwatch is the other one that kind of takes a lot of time. And if I'm on the go and I don't have my computer, I play Hearthstone. So it's just Blizzard everything. And like for the most part with Overwatch, I'm really proficient mostly with all the healers. So I'm a Mercy main. And do what?
Be careful next time you make fun of a Mercy.
Nah, dude, Mercy's the best. I love Mercy. Especially because it's so fun to piss off people when you're just zooming around left and right and they can't catch you.
It's so funny because I saw like an Armin as a Mercy fan art.
Nice.
Armin was
I need to find that. I need that.
Yeah, you ever played Breath of the Wild?
I got a Switch. I did play a little bit of Breath of the Wild, but
done this.
yeah, I get the joke. Like I get the reference. I just I play so much of my time is with Blizzard games that I haven't really spent the time to play Breath of the Wild. I have it.
Yeah.
I've played maybe 3 hours into it, but
Tell your friends and your family about this crap shit.
Will do.
I want it to be as popular as it possibly can.
okay.
Say it and cue it.
Yeah,
everything.
it's for those who can't see. Hold it up. It's Armin and the Fish Man. This is.
Oh god.
I wanted to see the ocean, but not that close.
And what was your other question?
Okay, let's see. What was the other question?
If you can't remember, that's okay. And if you remember it again, you can get back in line.
I can't right now.
Okay, it's all good, sweetie. It's all good. Appreciate your question.
Hopefully someone recorded that line, please. Thank you. Post that on every social media site known to mankind.
What's up, Harley?
Okay, so my first question is, how did you feel about the second season of Attack on Titan after all of these years?
Again, finally! We had all been chomping at the bit, waiting for it at this point, and I get why it took so long, just because, I mean, the studio that makes Attack on Titan has a bare bones staff, and has had a bare bones staff since they did the first season, and so once they finished season 1, then they had to go and animate Seraph at the End, then they did Attack on Titan Junior High, then they did the next season of Seraph at the End, and they had other projects they were doing, so it took them a while until they actually got to the point where they could start working on season 2. I'm just glad that it did happen, and it finally happened. And the fact that they now have confirmed that season 3 is going to be next year. We don't have to wait very long now. And that apparently, from what I remember, I can't remember if it was a Crunchyroll announcement or like an Anime News Network, but it was out there that it was apparently going to cover from the point in the manga between the end of season 2 and upwards of volume 22. So whether or not that means, and I don't think, considering their track record with it so far, where they haven't really skipped much of anything, that they've pretty much kept everything, in the story, I'm guessing that means the next season's going to be, it's either going to be like, they're either going to condense it so it's another 13 episodes, but it covers a lot more, or it'll probably be a longer, like the first season where we had like a full 20 some odd episodes. I'm hoping. No idea whether or not that'll be the case, but really hoping that is. And since I guess they just finished it on volume 24, or like 24 or 25, so if that's going to cover up to 22, then I'm guessing that means we have to at least get one more small season to cover the last bit of it. So I think we can look forward to a lot more Titan very soon.
How do you feel about like the plot line of the whole
Of the second season?
Yeah.
Is anybody watching Game of Thrones this season? They came, season 2 of Attack on Titan
came at us with just as much force and ferocity as this season of Game of Thrones has come at us. I feel like it's they kind of gave it in the first episode. It was kind of a
Okay, this is where we left off, and now everything is fire.
and it did not calm down throughout the entirety of that season. It was so stressful, but it was good. I feel it's like it's a very masochistic relationship with Attack on Titan. It's like, yes, can I have another?
It's like, I want another, but not another death.
yeah, I know. And you're just sitting there chomping at the bit, being like, who's gonna die? I know someone's gonna die.
Alright, well, thank you.
Do what? I know, right? Who's gonna die this week?
Stop.
Yeah! I love it!
So I had a question, and then I just wanted to say, Free was my first anime.
Really?
Victoria's like
Oh, thank you. Just keep swimming.
and then my question was, as a theater major, do you have a specific method, like the Meisner method, or to get any characters?
My theater background, pretty much my acting classes were doing. Like I learned on stage. I started in children's theater when I was 5. And yes, straight up thespian. And I only ever once took an actual acting class because I was doing so much. And then the time that I did actually take a class, I was in San Antonio Community College for about a semester, and then voice acting took off for me, and it was just I didn't have time to take classes. So I don't know if I necessarily have any specific method, like any sort of like textbook method, like the Meisner or in and out, out in, or anything like that. But I feel like for me, a lot of it I learned by imitation, and through that imitation, I just kind of found my own style, like what worked for me. And whenever I see a character or I'm recording for anything, a lot of it is just me kind of pulling back on those characters that I found and that I've pretty much lived. And that's really the best answer I think I can give you at this point. With Meisner, it's probably kind of close to Meisner, but for me, when recording a show, obviously you want to put yourself into the whole mindset of the character, but I don't go as far as some actors just an extreme example, Heath Ledger. He was very much about the whole inside out, outside in. He would become the character. I can't do that. I'm crazy enough as it is. But definitely, putting yourself in that mindset and that emotional state that at least matches whatever it is the character's going on, and you go on that journey with them. That, if anything, is my style, is my method.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Hi. What's your question?
I have two.
Okay.
Well, one is a question, the other is a request.
Okay.
First question is, as somebody who watched Attack on Titan from the Japanese narrations and finally heard Armin in English, I enjoyed Armin.
Thank you.
So, did you actually hear anybody shriek in sorrow when he almost died?
I shrieked in horror because I was watching the Japanese, well before we ever auditioned. But, are you asking, did I hear people shriek, at a con or something?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
As any form, because, for example, I watched the live action. I heard your voice.
Yeah. That was interesting.
And I got to see it in a theater, and I got kicked out of the theater.
Why?
Because I screamed,
Armin, no!
It was more like a high-pitched female scream
Uh-huh.
that probably broke a fourth wall that people are watching us.
Gotcha.
And my other request is, my brother just turned 17.
Okay.
He loves Yuri on Ice.
Is he in here?
Yes.
Congrats on 17 trips around the sun.
Now, as a request, I've been watching this, I guess she's on Instagram mostly, but I found her on Facebook. she freaks out over all of Yuri on Ice. There's a line that she says, and I want to hear Yuri say it as a response. Yes, Victor, I am thicker than a Snicker. Wait, I need to get this on video. Oh my god.
I know, they do.
Okay.
All right, all the cameras are out now.
Give us like a countdown.
Okay, y'all ready? Here it comes. Here it comes. Countdown. Oh, that's my phone. Who's calling me? Someone I don't know. Okay. Shut up, Nevada. Call back later.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Yes, Victor, I am thicker than a Snicker. I feel dirty.
It's okay, now it's about to say Michael Tatum.
Right.
Happy birthday to you.
Hi, sweetie. Yes.
First, who's your favorite and least favorite character you voice?
It's really hard for me to, like, who's your favorite child? Obviously, it's Timmy. He brings cookies.
Oh my God. I have five. I have five favorites, and each one of them represents a particular either a milestone in my career, or was just working on the show was really important to me, or like helped me through a rough part in my life. First role I ever got, like first lead character I ever got, Kyohei Takano in The Wallflower. And Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple. That was my first show ever for Funimation. I got to work with all those people that I'd grown up listening to on Dragon Ball and other Funimation dubs, and it was just a dream come true, fanboy dream come true. Kind of a tie between, like, for the third slot, I say I say Sadao Mao and Kuranosuke, because they both came at a time where I was kind of getting burned out on anime as a fan, because we had just had this massive influx of nothing but fan service shows with no substance, like no story, nothing. It's just gravity-defying boobs that sparkle like candy. It's just like, okay, I mean, that's funny for a while, but that's not a story. And so it was just really cool to see these two shows come along that broke that mold completely, and were also, like, one was just this really brilliant, really well thought out kind of otherworld sitcom about Satan working at McDonald's. Brilliant. And then the other one was just this really great, like, Princess Jellyfish was this really beautiful story and breath of fresh air that was obviously made by a bunch of geeks. You just have to watch the opening sequence of the show to know how geeky the people working on that were. And the fact that it was the first show I've ever seen where someone who could be considered as either transgender or non-conforming, non-binary, or gender fluid, whatever you want to call it, the first time a person like that has ever been portrayed in a positive light, and like not being made fun of, not the object of a joke in a show or anything, but they're the role model. Like, Kuranosuke was the character that helped these girls find who they were and found love for themselves, just because he's like, look, I'm being me, and I'm fine with being me, and I'm going to teach you how to be fine with being you. And it was like a breath of fresh air for so many reasons.
And secondly, do you think any major characters will die in Attack on Titan soon? Or if so, who do you think it will be?
Well, it's not going to be Aaron. It's just like, we know that. It's not going to be. Yeah, he's a protagonist, though. Yeah, but like at some point it might happen.
So, yeah, but like,
I don't know. To avoid spoilers, I'm not going to say, like, you know, now that we know who's died this season,
but like, I feel like
Hanji better not go. That's my girl. That's my girl. Or boy. Just, you don't really know. I don't know. I'd rather not, because I feel like that's just jinxing them at this point.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Oh, and to answer the rest of it for the first part of your other question, the other two would be Armin and Attack on Titan, because that was the first show ever that I had in recent memory that I watched the Japanese first. Like, I was a fan of it, waiting every week, bated breath, and I fell in love with the character of Armin, and I was like, oh my god, if we ever get this, I would love the chance to audition and play Armin. And then we got it, and I auditioned, and I got the character I freaking wanted. That doesn't happen. And then for it to end up on Toonami, which is where my anime obsession began, was just like going full freaking circle, and it was so cool and surreal. And then Yuri. Like, again, because I feel it is a very important show in a lot of the same ways that Princess Jellyfish was important. For many obvious reasons, I think.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, sweetie.
Yes, sir. Love the Tracer t-shirt.
Thanks. As you know, like throughout like acting careers, usually there's typecasting. And one pattern I know with you is like you sometimes mostly voice like the sort of bumbling doofus with a kind heart. Like
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, me, that's me.
What was it like then having to shift that to Tyrian?
It was fun.
I mean, it was, again, like I keep saying this, breath of fresh air, but you know, like I love the fact that at Funimation I've been typecast and kind of known as being like the young, kind-hearted hero that's, you know, either weak or starts out weak, but has a goal or is just a bumbling idiot that loves women. It's like Issei or something. Or, I mean, half the shows I've voiced over the years have been harem shows. So, like, I mean, yeah, bumbling idiots that are just doofuses and horny little teenagers. Or weak young people that just kind of don't believe themselves but have a goal and they go on this great journey. That's fun, but I love villains. I love getting to be, because villains have no rules. Villains, when you're acting as a villain, there's really no archetype that you have to stick to. Unless you're playing something like Akisa Shishido from Corpse Princess, a part I played a long time ago. He's a villain, but he's the type of villain that he's doing it because he feels like what he's doing is right. Like it is the right thing. And like real world villains, no real world villains see themselves as a villain. They see themselves as a hero. And so for like that, you know, obviously you have to play that true, and you can't really be like super over the top. But for characters like Tyrian, the sky's the freaking limit. And it was just like it's like being set loose on the playground again. You know, as a kid, like it's like getting recess. You really can just like for as long as I have this part, when I have this part, I can play. And I can do whatever the heck I want with him and just really explore that and find new things and experiment. Like, that's playing Tyrian for me.
And also, sort of to expand with Tyrian, as we know, Tyrian is a scorpion faunus.
Yes.
If you were a faunus, what type of animal would you be?
Well, I am a Scorpio. So, I mean, I'm kind of cool with the fact that I'm already a scorpion. Well, let's see. I guess if I had to choose anything else, it would be a bat. Because they're cute as hell. They can fly. And sonar. Like, that would just be awesome. I could see at night.
He'd probably have a great singing voice, too. Yes.
So, what difficulties do you encounter in the dubbing process?
Difficulties in the dubbing process. Okay. First and foremost, to kind of bring this up, is anybody here not familiar with the term simuldub or broadcast dub? Not familiar with it? Okay. That's better, because last time last year I asked you this question, it would be the whole room. For the last couple of years, we've been doing, like, Funimation's been doing this process called simuldubbing, and we started it with Space Dandy on Toonami. Space Dandy was essentially, technically, Space Dandy came out in the States before it was out in Japan. Just because of how fast we were working on it. So what we're doing now is whenever we get as opposed to the old ways when we were still releasing only VHS or only releasing DVDs, we would have like when we would get a show, we'd be able to watch like every episode. We'd have the entire story. We would know what to expect. We would write 6 or 7 episodes at a time before we even recorded one. And we would, so like recording 6 or 7 episodes would be like a 3 to 4 month process. The DVDs would come out 3 or 4 months later after DVD authoring and everything had happened. So you'd be getting anime roughly around a year to a year and a half after its initial run in Japan. That doesn't really work in today's fast-paced, where streaming services and everything is a thing. So with simuldubbing, what we're doing now is an episode comes out in Japan. The day after it is out, we start writing it. A week after that, we record it. And then it's put up online on Funimation. So within 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks tops of an episode coming out, we now have that episode out available and dubbed. That was what we did with Yuri on Ice. That's what we did with Attack on Titan Season 2. Pretty much the majority of the titles we get every season now, that's what we do. It's much faster, obviously, and with that comes a lot of different challenges and changes. First and foremost, also as a writer in the dubbing process, I have no idea for most shows what the heck is going to happen next week. I don't have, especially if a show is original and doesn't have a manga that I can potentially go and reference if I can even find it, then I have nothing to pull from. So I literally have to be very careful, because so much of the adaptive process is that we're working with translation, but translation A sounds awkward when said out loud, especially when you're trying to perform when you're trying to give life to a character. Direct translation just sounds weird, especially because of the syntax flip, and also because the Japanese don't necessarily animate their mouth movements to their own language. So when we have to go and write whatever we're writing to fit these bizarre flaps that will be like Muppet flaps opening like 1 or 2 at a time, or they'll stop randomly. The translation might be this long, but the flaps go for this long and with little pauses, so we have to figure out ways to make that sound like a natural spoken sentence in English without pausing weirdly or sounding like William Shatner. So that's first and foremost. And so on top of that, now I have no idea whether or not this line that this one character is saying in episode 1 is going to be a super important line that comes back in episode 13 that completely affects the outcome of the story. So I'm having to stick as close to direct translation as I can, and still make it sound natural and make it sound like like it was originally made for an English-speaking audience, with no idea whether or not it's going to work in the end. And in the dubbing process, like when we're actually recording in English, much less time to work on things, much less time to really sometimes explore a character. We've always, when we record, seen the scripts usually for the very first time when we step in to record. But we barely even have times for auditions now. It's pretty much just, okay, who do we know that can play a voice like this, that's played a character like this, that can sell this? Okay, we'll cast that person as this person is that, this person is this. So it means we don't, everybody's working a lot more, and it's a lot more consistent, but at the same time, we also don't get a lot of an opportunity to really play around with the character, get to know them, because instead of doing 6 episodes at a time, we're just getting an episode week by week by week. That's kind of off-putting. Like it's a lot harder sometimes to really latch onto and grow with the character when you're only seeing them a couple hours a night once a week. There's all sorts of, there's more and more that I'm sure I'm forgetting or that I can't really. I could take up an entire panel telling you about all the crap that we have to put up with trying to get these out and do them right and do them justice.
And just one more. It's
Okay.
a little bit quick. Are there any shows that you would very much like to dub or be part of the dub for that have yet to be dubbed?
If they ever make another season of the Slayers, I want to be, even if I'm just a bandit that gets dragon slaved. Like, it's just throw a spell at me, send me off like Team Rocket, blasting off again, and I'm done. And I'm just done for the rest of the show. I would be so freaking happy. Like, I love, if anybody here know the Slayers?
I can totally see you as Galray.
I would love to play Gallery. Oh, that'd be amazing. But I mean, like any part really. But yeah, if you've never seen the Slayers, it's a choice anime from the '90s. Like the cast in it for the dub is a lot of people that you would know from Pokemon. Like they got their start really with Slayers, and then they became well known with Pokemon. But Slayers itself is an insanely fun sword and sorcery show. It's got 4 seasons now, and like I can't even count how many OVAs and movies. If you like swords and like if you're a fan at all of Fairy Tail, you'll love Slayers. I think you'll really dig Slayers. Fairy Tail takes a lot from Slayers. Yeah. Yeah.
So I have one question that's mine, and I have 2 requests from my friends because they're babies.
2 requests. Okay.
Okay, so the one is I went to your autograph session
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
and I got my hat autographed.
I see that hat.
So I'm wearing it. I was just wondering. I know that you did the free autographs.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering, are you doing that because like you're just an awesome person, or is there like you're like? Oh,
Well, I mean, generally at a con, if I'm brought to a con specifically as an anime, like because it's anime centric, then that's generally what I do. It's like personal items will be free, like two or three things for free, and then after that, charge for that. And because I always have my prints with me, I have all those are available for. So it's like generally when I go to a lot of anime cons, not a lot of people are able to they don't really have a lot of money, or I just want them to be able to get a signature. But like at comic cons, like big fan expos or comic cons and stuff like that, generally, then that's when you're expected to sell, and people that go to those events are usually going there expecting to shell out money to get either autographs or do anything like that, and so it's par for the course at that point. But anime cons, I just sell my stuff, but I'll sign stuff for free, like if they bring it to me. That's the way I do it.
And then so one of the requests is I was wondering she was wondering in the Yuri voice if you could say pretty much confess your love and propose to Victor. It was gonna be 2 ridiculous, but I wanted to put that together so
Right.
it would be easier.
Okay.
Give us
cool.
a countdown. Give us a countdown.
Oh my god. You're putting me on the spot. Now I gotta improv.
You can do however you want.
All right, cool. Let's see.
Wait. Do you have your gold ring animated? Give me your ring.
You're there. Yeah. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. That's horrible. Oh, you look amazing. I love that show.
Okay.
Oh my god, the axe.
Oh my god. Did you see your contact?
Yeah, there we go. All right, thank you.
Props and everything.
Yeah, good to go. In the moment. All right.
Countdown.
Victor, your friendship has meant so much to me. The love that you've shown me has made me soar to new heights, and I can't imagine continuing to soar without you. I love you, and I want to be with you forever. Will you marry me, Victor? Will you make me your eternal pork cutlet bowl?
Thank you. The greeting line from McDonald's? Yeah, what, do you remember it?
I don't remember it.
As far as, what was the greeting line for McDonald's? As far as I knew, it was just, welcome to McDonald's. Would you like to have a combo today? Yeah. Oh, did you need to record that? All right, cool. I think you got, okay, here we go. Welcome to McDonald's. Would you like to have a combo? Our black pepper fryer's broken, sorry. Thank you. Are you Cora?
Yeah.
You look so good.
So Attack on Titan is a really unique show. What are your thoughts in regard to that uniqueness?
Jeez. Good questions. Let's see. I feel like, and it's unique to me in a lot of the ways that Part-Timer and Jellyfish and Yuri are unique because they kind of break the mold. When Titan came along, we were still at that point where a lot of anime studios weren't willing to take a chance on something. Something that they didn't know whether or not it would be popular, whether it would sell. So usually it was fan service shows or anything, or stuff like Free, because that became a very big, a big thing. Aside from that, I feel like overall, just the story, the characterizations, I love the fact that no character, like Eren can be considered brave, but it's not a foolhardy braveness. It's there out of sorrow and remorse and anger, like intense desire for revenge. Mikasa is a psycho. Like everybody else, and Levi too, but like everybody else in that world is so human. Nobody is portrayed as being like this all-powerful, like right from the get-go, like I can beat anything, or like they're all terrified in some way. They're all doing this because they're brave, but it's not a foolhardy form of bravery or courage. It is built out of a necessity. Like for Jean, at first, his bravery comes from the fact, like just the fact that he even joined the Scouts was because he was there for himself. He was there to become a member of the military police, so that he would never see a Titan, so that he would be having a cush position in the interior and just living the high life. Obviously, that changed for him later on, being inspired by the events around him and the people around him. But he and many others in that world, their bravery is born out of necessity, because it's either I do this or I go and I die, or I starve, or I live a life in the fields. It does such a great job of really, I think, showing the terrors of war, the terrors of like the psychological damage of being a soldier, and there's also like this really underlying message, I think, that has to do with going, like, the walls, I feel, are more of a metaphor for like going outside of your comfort, going outside of your fears. Like, go past your walls and fight for what you want because it's worth it. And it's overall just the way that they portray everything in that show, especially the way that the anime, like the manga's great, but the anime is so good at actually portraying the intensity and making you feel that real terror, not only just of what's happening, but for those characters. And especially if you haven't read the manga, like for me, I hadn't read any of it when I was watching the first season. I cannot remember in my lifetime an anime giving me this sinking feeling in my guts and like really making me feel fear for these characters and just for just the people in general in that show, and really making me like unsure of what was going to happen. And the fact that it keeps you guessing, and it's such a well thought out mystery on top of everything else I mentioned, is why it is such a great property, is why it is unique. Thank you.
Hello, Josh.
Hello again.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Since I love My Hero Academia and the show's ongoing, if you have a voice acting role in My Hero Academia, would you do it?
I already do.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Which character?
I played Tokoyami.
Oh, yeah!
Birdman, bird power.
Awesome. I'm glad I got your autograph right here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I play my shadow bird.
Alright, I have two questions.
Okay.
One is, in Yuri on Ice and Attack on Titan, who's besides Armin and Yuri respectively, who would be your favorite character in each?
Okay. So for Yuri and Titan, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite, aside from the characters I play, who's my favorite? Hanji in Attack on Titan. She's just ridiculous and I love her to death. Also doesn't help that one of my best friends, Jessica Cavello, plays her for the dub, and she's freaking brilliant. For Yuri, Probably Yurio.
He's just so angry. And it's adorable.
Like, yeah, that's it.
And do you know? I noticed. I made a connection that Yuri and Armin, in a way, if like you ignore the genres of the respective shows, a similar arc.
Yeah.
Like in starting out like all nervous, like getting more confident, good at what they do.
Yeah, very much. It's the hero's journey.
Yeah.
I can put that to almost every character that I have played over the past 7-8 years, I think. Kenichi goes on the same journey as Armin and Yuri. Let's see. Akihisa does not. Zen, in a way, kind of goes on his own growth and journey. Like, he's already oh, yeah, I got some Snow White fans. Like, Zen, say that again? What about Tori? Tori Aoi from, oh my god. He's just a goofball. He doesn't have an arc, dude. Yeah, he's just a goofball. Oh god, of course I can't think of really, like, Mal doesn't go on one. Issei, in a way, goes on his own hero's journey. Yuki in Future Diary, he goes on his own, on a hero's journey. Though he's still a giant dick at the end of it. It's like, but you're absolutely right that yes, once you kind of ignore the genres, they do have a very similar story. But I think that's just because like that type of story has been something that we've been telling for millennia, and people just like it. Yeah. Hi, Yuri. Welcome back.
I'm gonna ask. I have two things I'd like you to do, requests.
Okay.
I know the first one, everyone, 90% of people are gonna hate me for it.
Okay. Prepare for hate.
I'm gonna be that one person.
Okay. Prepare for hate.
I'd love it if you would, as Armin, confess your love for Aaron. He's like, I never want to get
So, all right, you ready?
Look, she has it all for you. Wait, no.
Yeah, right.
Aaron, your friendship has meant so much to me. We faced a lot together, and I'm sorry for all your pain, but I want to be there to help you get through that pain forever. Aaron, I love you. And will you... Aaron, there's a time now!
Okay.
Yuri asking Victor if he did the dishes and then getting mad because he did. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
What is... That's a thing?
Yes! Yes! That also has to do...
Like doing the dishes?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They portray Victor as extremely lazy.
Uh-huh.
He didn't do anything. It's like the whole thing, Yuri asks him and Victor's in Russian, oh, I don't know what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yes, you do.
Okay. Victor, did you do the dishes? Obviously you didn't, because they're still sitting in the frickin' sink. There's 3-day-old crust on that plate, Victor. Yes, you understand exactly what I'm saying. Don't you play that Russian card with me. Tell you what, how about this? You don't do the dishes, you don't get any bark color bowl tonight.
What's your favorite line of Yuri on Ice? And in your favorite line, can you do it in your
Okay, favorite line that I did. These are always ridiculously hard. I mean, honestly, if I... Okay, no, I got it. All right, you ready? All right.
Hey, I got an idea. Victor, if I win the dance-off, come as your friend and be my coach. You do it, won't you?
So, when I first heard about the Devil's part-timer, I was completely, I was like, no. But then I'm like, okay.
Checked it out.
Obviously, I was gonna laugh. Now, since we're going around asking love confessions, let's make this into a... No, this one's different.
Okay.
Let's make this more bromance. Nothing.
Okay.
I want you to hear... Wait, sorry. I want to hear Sadao Mao say to his... whatever his name is.
Asiel. Yeah.
Telling him how much of a stress out he is for him, but at the same time, he can't live without him.
Right. All right, cool. Okay, Asya, I get it. Oh my god, okay. Yes, I will save more money. I got the fridge because I thought we'd need it. It's hot. But you know, oh my god, you're such a stressor. Like, but you know what? In all fairness, I couldn't do this without you, man. Like, being stuck in this world, being stuck in this form, no magic, I'd be lost without you, man. I'm glad you're here. Now, can I please go buy us some steak?
All right, we've got little more than 5 minutes left, so one question at a time. Like, I want to try to get to everybody's question in line for people who have not asked anything yet.
All right.
Okay.
I have a question of doing junior high.
Yeah.
Was that more of a breath of fresh air, that everything was
Yes.
a little sillier?
Yeah, I mean, like, when we were recording Titan, like, obviously we're having fun, but it's like, just the overall tone of it and everything, like, we didn't have, like, normally, you know, for any show, we would have some sort of outtakes, or we'd have, like, just, we would be leaving each other bombs in the booth, like, little tee-hee things, like, surprises for other actors, but for that show, it was just, like, we were so into it, and the show, it was so demanding emotionally on us that we didn't really have the energy to be funny. It was just like, no, we're doing this, we have to take it seriously, and we're trying to give the best product we can. And then junior high comes around, and all of that pent-up silliness and goofiness we'd had just got to come out, and it was a freaking blast. The fact that I get to play little Armin dressed in a bunny outfit to sell burgers, you have to literally, would you like a cheeseburger? Like, I love that so freaking much. And like, I have yet to see an Armin cosplay with the futon over his head, but it should happen soon.
I'm gonna do one soon.
Please do, and send me a picture on Twitter or something.
Also for later, I guess.
Yeah.
You make him talk to her. Or now. Sounds good.
What's up, Sam? Thanks for making me. Though, my hair's a little in my eyes, it's kind of itchy. So, can we go out for ice cream later or something? That'd be really great if we could, because, so you can see not a lot of meat on these bones. And do me a favor and don't let the scouts take me.
If you're going.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on Horizon in the middle of nowhere?
That show is ridiculous. As ridiculous as all of the boobs in that show. But Tori Ioi, for a lot of reasons, was kind of the same for me as Tyrian, in the way, like, you know, he's not a psychopath. I don't get to play around with the villain, but he was just fun, goofy, ridiculous, doing whatever. So I got to be a Looney Tune, basically, playing that dude, and that was a hell of a lot of fun. And that's about all I could say about Horizon.
Alright, one last thing, I'd like to give you a gift.
A gift?
Yes.
What?
I'm an independent writer. I write action anime style novels.
Okay.
And I think you'll enjoy it. So.
All right.
Here's your
Cool, man.
gift, sir.
Thank you.
Can I take a quick picture?
would you mind finding me at? I'm going to be at my autograph table again at like 6:30, I think. 6:30, 7 o'clock. So, yeah, see you there. Thank you. Yes.
Hi. Petite.
I was wondering, what's your favorite skating routine in Yuri on Ice?
Arrows. Yeah, bar none. Bar none. The closest second for me would be Minami's Boogie. Like, Minami's, like, she's so freaking cute, and that song is catchy as hell. I had that as my ringtone for a while. It was just Minami's Boogie.
Thank you. You can do it. What was the? Did you remember the other question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if you can do 2 fan lines.
Okay.
Okay, come on, I kind of want to see the phone because this is going to be really funny.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, I want you to say, welcome to McDonald's. Instead of killing you with hellfire, we kill you with calories.
Alright, cool. Welcome to McDonald's. Instead of killing you with hellfire, we kill you with calories.
I know, do you think you can actually try to voice dub this?
Oh my
Try
God.
doing your British accent.
British accent? Yeah, I haven't heard the character. Is he a deeper voice? Deeper in British?
He's a British accent.
Deeper in British, like proper, like a proper British accent, kind of like this.
Yeah,
kind of like-
I'll bring you one too, because
Right. I will be your gay fish forever, Armin.
And Armin's reaction. I can do it happy. I'll bring you one from the creator.
Cool.
I'm going right down there to do it. So
Cool.
yeah.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I want to get to these 3 because they have not. Yeah, let's go. We haven't. They have not asked a question yet.
Okay. My other question is, how do you like your voice acting role at Funimation, as well as the staff that works over there?
It has been great. It's one of the. I made so many great friends there. A lot of us that act up there. We hang out a lot. Ian Sinclair is one of my best friends. You might know him as the voice of Space Dandy, and Whis from Dragon Ball Super. Like, he and I used to be roommates. We hang out a lot. We play Magic the Gathering and video games together. A whole lot of us. We're all geeks, and we all just love what we do.
Come on. Hi.
Okay, so out of all of the ships, canon or not, out of the things you've been, what are your favorite ships?
Ships.
Yes.
For Attack on Titan, I would love to see like an Armin and Annie.
Yes.
That just makes sense to me for some reason. I think it'd be cute. I mean, Yuri Victor, duh.
Let's see, Baka and Test, Akihisa and Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi is best girl. Hideyoshi is his own gender. Let's see. Sadao Mal obviously needs to end up with Chiho because that's just ridiculously cute. That's all I can think of at the top of my head. Thank you.
One more. Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Hey, what's up, buddy?
My goddess.
Okay, so you've probably been asked this 1,000 times, and I know you did it when you saw me, but I want to record it. Can you do the eye for an eye in the line?
Yeah, I actually did it at the very beginning of this panel. Sorry, dude. Tell you what, come down to the autograph session, or just find me in the hallway at some point. I'm gonna be here all weekend. I will happily do it. So since we did that, you asked a question earlier. Who was the girl that had not asked a question yet? That
The
was
Yuri
in line a
with the
second ago.
bucket.
Yeah, Victor, get up here. What's your question, Victor?
So do you remember when Victor asks if let's build some trust in a relationship?
Yeah.
That scream. Can you please just do that?
Oh, the scream.
Let's build some trust in a relationship. Let's build some trust in a relationship. Oh, like when he gets to know each other and then he backs away really quickly and stuff. Okay, I think it was a really quick one, wasn't it? Like it was just all right. Thank you so much. You know what? Just for fun, I'll do one more. Oh God, what was that?
How about this? Just a very sweet thing, like very end of the show. For better or for worse, we call everything on the ice love. Thank you all so much for coming to the panel.